let's jump into Smackdown recap, a WWE recap for the week. Yeah. These were filler shows this week, but that's to be expected. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. When you have this long build in between pay-per-views, WWE doesn't know what to do with like 4 to 5 weeks. The sweet spot for WWE is a pay-per-view 3 weeks, and then we get to another fucking pay-per-view. That's what they like. But we've had a little bit of a longer build in between. What was the last pay-per-view? That was
I don't know. Was it Ladders? No.
Was it Hell in a Cell?
I think so, because for some reason a cage.
No, there was a cage match. I don't remember what that was.
There was a cage match, but it wasn't the last pay-per-view.
It wasn't Crown Jewel. I don't know. I'm confused. It was supposed to be TLC, but they canceled TLC. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was Survivor Series.
Yes,
it was Survivor Series was the last pay-per-view. But okay, so
because right after the draft, and we were like, WTF.
The matches on SmackDown this week, we got Sasha Banks and Toni Storm defeating Charlotte Flair and Shotzi. So Shotzi's back, just out of the fucking blue. This is what WWE does, right? She disappears a couple weeks. Now she's back, and apparently she's friendly enough with Charlotte that they could tag team and go against Sasha Banks and Toni Storm. Yeah. Sasha Banks is once again being wasted, but I think she's just in holding right now. Mm-hmm. We're in a holding pattern to see what happens at day one with the SmackDown Women's title. Toni Storm got the pin on Charlotte, which I always say that's bad. That's bad news for Toni Storm.
Yeah, because they're not going to let her have it.
Well, not that they're not going to let her have it, but typically if they put you over before the pay-per-view, then they're teasing the fact that like Charlotte's going to prevail at the pay-per-view. I don't know though. I believe if I believe there's any title that's in serious danger, I think it's Charlotte's SmackDown Championship. I think Toni Storm is a likable enough character and a fresh enough face that putting the belt on her for a little bit and giving her a feud, she could win the belt, feud a little bit with Charlotte, then you could sprinkle in Sasha back in there, and then by WrestleMania time, you could have something that looked like a triple threat between the three of them in some form or fashion. Yeah. That would be a solid SmackDown booking.
So crazy thought, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they're trying to just replace Charlotte?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, I don't think. I mean, she can't have the belt forever. Natalya did an interview the other day where she talked about when you get into Charlotte's position, it's tricky, right? Because there's not a lot for Charlotte to do other than be champion. She's accomplished everything, right? Yeah. And when you accomplish everything and you've been like a 15, 16 time champion,
what more can you achieve?
But there's not, so you don't, being in outside feuds don't make a lot of sense because when you've been champion so long, the only thing that really matters is being champion and being champion longer. Yeah. It doesn't make sense if she loses the belt to get into some weird side feud. She's almost always has to be somewhat in the title picture, it feels like.
Yeah, for sure.
So no, I don't think they're trying to replace her, but you can't be champion forever. Yeah. Right? And we know there's been some bad blood between her and WWE officials. So probably, honestly, it would probably nice if she lost the belt and disappeared for a little bit and let everybody miss her just for a little bit. Let Toni Storm and Sasha Banks have a little bit of a feud, a little run through, and then maybe have her show up. I think Royal Rumble's too quick. I think if you get rid of her and then come back for Royal Rumble, that's too quick. So maybe have her come back right before WrestleMania. I don't know. Okay. We got the Viking Raiders versus Jinder Mahal and Shanky. The Viking Raiders won. That's fucking forgettable to me.
I agree.
I mean, these some of these things just come out of nowhere, and I know some of these things aren't meant for me, but like neither of those teams are interesting.
Jinder Mahal is just a big guy, but he's boring to me.
They all are though. The Viking Raiders are boring. Maybe that's.
Get there for somebody, but they're not for me.
Yeah, they're not for me either. So not much to say about that. Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss prance around Drew McIntyre's Claymore. This is more Happy Corbin. Happy Corbin has turned into more of a comedic act than a wrestler. I don't remember the last time he just had a straight up wrestling match. And now going into day one, they've got Madcap Moss is going to be facing Drew McIntyre. So I'm sure Corbin gets involved, but he's not the main focus. But one thing about this, I put out a post the other day.
Yeah.
On Happy Corbin.
Uh-huh.
The fucking internet hates Happy Corbin.
Really? I love him.
The fucking internet hates Happy Corbin. There's no love. I've never posted something that had more of a visceral reaction than the post I put up about Happy Corbin. Happy Corbin did an interview where he was talking about he's only won one championship in the WWE, and he hopes to reach higher levels. And I put my post was something like, does Happy Corbin deserve to have a major championship? And the fucking overwhelming answer was no. And people seem to hate the Happy Corbin character. I don't dislike it. I'm okay with it. I don't necessarily love it. I don't think it's the greatest character of all time, but I think he suits a purpose. I do think it's a little too comical to be a major champion. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
If I go on record and I sit around and say that Big E was too comical to be a major champion, then the same has to sit from Happy Corbin. But with a few tweaks, I think that Corbin, athletically, he has the look, he has the size, he has the athleticism. I think he has all the tools to be a champion. He's just got to find that character that works. And I imagine we'll run through the Happy Corbin thing. There's going to be a breakup between Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. And when that happens, we'll probably get an angrier Corbin, which will then in turn, they're going to need people. You can't do Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar forever.
I agree.
And yeah, you got Drew McIntyre, but you're going to need another guy. And I think that Corbin can be that other guy. I really do. I think he has all the talent to do it. It's just a matter of kind of packaging it up in a way that makes sense, right?
For sure.
Sami Zayn met with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. He's no longer in a wheelchair, so that was a short run injury there.
Did you hear my doctor?
Yes. So it's setting up a 12-man Christmas Battle Royal match, which after looking at the guys involved, I'm guessing this is set up for Sami Zayn to win again. And Sami will win, go on for an Intercontinental Championship opportunity, and probably be fucked out of that. If we ever get a real payoff to this conspiracy theory, like if we ever find out that there was really a conspiracy to keep Sami away from like winning titles, I think the payoff for that could be great. The problem is WWE doesn't ever fucking follow through with little details like that. That could be a great finish to that if you find out that like Vince McMahon or Stephanie McMahon or somebody had it out for Sami Zayn and they don't allow him to win the title. That's a great payoff. But to me, I think this is just more like, what do we do with Sami Zayn? What do we do with the Intercontinental Championship? Because they're not doing anything with it, really. Mm-hmm. They're not. It's just kind of sitting there with Shinsuke, and he hardly ever defends that.
Yeah.
We got Ridge Holland taking on Cesaro with Sheamus. This seems like, I know I talk about like, I like a little bit of like pounding down what's going on, but this feels like this has been happening for fucking years now.
Well, I literally told you I was going on. I was like, why is it always Cesaro and Sheamus?
I mean, I feel like
they just fight each other.
There's a mandatory form of some form or fashion of Cesaro and Sheamus being in the ring at the same time. Every week, there's a mandatory Sheamus match with Cesaro involved. Whether you just flip in Ridge Holland or you do whatever, there's some form of this going on every week. And Sheamus is boring to me.
Yeah.
Even this new like fight Sheamus fight isn't that. I don't know. That
it just doesn't have that oomph.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like the mid card in WWE that's just real muddy to me right now. There's a lot of guys that I know Sheamus has the potential to be extremely likable, and I know they're using him right now to put over Ridge Holland, and that's going to end up, as always, it's fucking wrestling, right? It's going to end up with those two turning on each other at some point.
Yeah.
But you still have to do something to build Sheamus. I mean, I think it was 2 weeks ago that Sheamus lost to Drew McIntyre. And it just feels like when WWE's in this holding pattern where they don't know what to do up until the pay-per-view, they make a lot of fucking booking mistakes.
Yeah.
Whereas it's okay to just have guys fight. One thing I will say where I critique AEW a little bit is matches that mean nothing, like matches for no reason, just two names fighting each other. But it is okay to use two names to just have a good match one night. If you do it every week and that's what you lay your hat on, like they were talking about, Bryan Danielson has been in AEW now for like 16 weeks and fought in like 16 different people, some weird number like that, right?
Yeah.
That's too many different people.
Yeah.
But it's okay to not do Cesaro, Sheamus every fucking week. It's okay. Like, it's okay, WWE. We'll still understand at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We'll still understand this is what you're going for. You want us to be invested in that. Mm-hmm. Naomi defeated Shayna Baszler via pinfall. I honestly don't even fucking remember this.
I did. I'm over Shayna Baszler. She's another boring one to me. She's just like a mean girl. Is all that I see her as. Like, oh, I'm big and I'm mean.
I literally don't remember. That's how uninterested I am in that. New Day defeated the Usos via pinfall. I'm excited. I'm ready for day one because I want to see what WWE does with the tag team, the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. Are we going to get a change? I think it's time for a change. I think that with Paul Heyman being fired, that the bloodline, is in a little bit of turmoil.
Yeah.
I don't think they need the tag team belts anymore to solidify that group. So I do think it may be time to let Xavier and Kofi take those belts and see what they can do for a little bit. Because the Xavier and Kofi,
great tag team, man.
They're great. The New Day is great. They're best tag team of all time. I believe.
Agree.
But even right now, I think it's underappreciated how good and invested they are in those characters.
They make it believable. Well,
they just make it fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to see Xavier. To me, it looks like Xavier. Some guys, you look at him and you go, I don't even know if this guy loves wrestling. Like, I think this guy just likes being fucking a wrestler, but I don't know if he loves like the whole entertainment. Fucking Xavier and Kofi, it looks like they love everything about WWE.
For sure.
I mean, Xavier especially.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we got Roman Reigns coming out to the ring and officially firing the wise man, Paul Heyman. And so I saw in all the Facebook communities and a lot on TikTok, there was a lot of like heralding, like, this is the return of Brock Lesnar. Thank God Paul Heyman can go back to Brock. I'm not sure about that yet.
Ooh.
I'm not willing to just pass that torch yet, because I said it on Facebook to numerous people, and I'm gonna say it here. Roman Reigns is up to something, right? This isn't gonna happen like this. We're not going into day one. We're not getting Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar, and we're not getting Brock Lesnar going over Roman Reigns at day. It's not happening. Roman Reigns is up to something. He's held that belt far too long and used far too many sneaky tactics to now assume that this reign is just over. We either got Paul Heyman playing Brock Lesnar or Roman's got something else up his sleeve. And I'm excited to see what it is, but I'm not under the belief that we've seen the last of the wise man with Roman Reigns. I don't believe so. I believe there's more to that.
All right.
Notorious. Big it up, big it up.